Hello, my name is Liene and welcome back to my channel and welcome to September wrap-up. In September I did Magical Readathon. I had my TBR. Did I stick to it? That's another question, but I finished 7 books. I will explain later how I finished 7 books, and I finished Magical Readathon. I managed to do it, though I felt at the 2 days before the month ended it's not gonna happen, but I made it happen. So let's just talk about the books I read in September. So the first one I finished was The Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly, and this is a historical fiction set around World War II. We have 3 point of views. One is from a Polish girl, then we have an American woman, I feel like at the beginning in her late 30s, and a young German doctor. And during the book, at some point, the characters meet one another. Not all of them come together, but it was tough read because of the things that happen in concentration camps. But at the same time, it was interesting to see the other side, the American woman's point of view and how the war affects her and her life. This is based on true events, and the American woman and the German doctor, those are real characters, real people that existed in this world. We see the different points of view throughout the war and a little bit after the war. I felt like the book was too long. I enjoyed the story, but it was tough to read the things that happen at the concentration camps, and it wasn't easy to read from the German doctor's point of view, but I guess we need to see all sides to maybe understand where everyone comes from. But yeah, it felt too long. Like, it would have been enough for me if the story ended when the war ended, but we follow the characters after the war for quite some years, and yeah, I don't know, that part I didn't really enjoy. I don't know, it felt too much and too long. I guess sometimes it is interesting to see what happens to the characters when one terrible part ends, but at the same time, I don't know, I kind of didn't wanted it. I wanted it to stay the way it was. It was really good. I did really like it. I don't know what was this. I feel so, I don't know, maybe pregnancy brain or something. Next, I finished the book I started back in June. I feel like it was Belladonna by Adeline Grace. I started it back in June, but I didn't hate it. I did enjoy it, but I just lost my reading mood during the summer, so I put it down, and then I used a special thing from, what was the new thing from Magical Readathon? So I bought a thing with my points, and I could finish a book that I had already started, so I finished this one. And yeah, I really did enjoy it, and I definitely will continue on with the series. We follow a girl whose family, around her, keeps dying, and she can see death. And then she goes to this relative's house, and there is a mystery happening. The lady of the house has died a terrible death, and now her daughter, the cousin of the main character, is also dying. She's very ill, and she figures out what is happening, and we follow her out through the journey. I did really enjoy it. I liked her interactions with the death. But it was also interesting to figure out why she can see him, or him. I don't know. But yeah, it also was interesting. The next book I finished was Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This is a romance book where a vampire and a werewolf marries. They have this marriage of not convenience, it's like a political marriage to make some deals, make peace between the species. But yeah, it was okay. I don't know, I didn't like that vampires are not immortal in this world. Yes, everyone knows about vampires. There are three species: vampires, werewolves, and humans. They live together, but at the same time they have their own territories that they live in, and they rarely cross. They fight. They have these wars between them, and people and other beings are being killed. But our main character, Misery, gets married to a werewolf alpha to kind of, I don't know, the words are not in my head right now, the ones that I want to use, but it is what it is. But yeah, as I said, I didn't like that the vampires are not immortal. I feel like that's the vampire thing. They drink blood, but they're not immortal. They're just like us. Just they need blood. They have some powers and whatnot, but yeah. And also what I didn't like that werewolves have green blood. Why? I don't know. I think maybe I'm too picky, but in general the romance was fine. There were some moments that I didn't really enjoy, and at the end, some of the sex scenes, that something that happens to the werewolf, I didn't really understand, but at the same time, I felt like it is something a bit gross. It was fine. For some reason, I wanted something more from it. I don't know what I wanted, but it was just fine. Then the next book was the one that I didn't read for Magical Readathon, but this was for Buzzword Reading Challenge. I think the buzzword was senses or something like that. But I read In the Light of What We See by Sarah Painter. It was an ebook on my Kindle. I just looked up the words for senses and I found this one, and I couldn't fit it in the Magical Readathon prompts that I needed, so it's just an extra book, and that's why I kinda almost failed Magical Readathon. But this is a book with two points of views. We have a young woman who is working in a hospital. I don't really understood what she's doing for work, but something with the technologies, the not X-ray machines, but something with things. And then we have a nurse from, I felt like it was before the Second World War or before the first one, because there was war mentioned, but we never, I don't know, maybe I forgot, because it took me the whole month to finish this book, because it was an ebook that I carried when I went to work, and I read on a bus to work. So maybe at the beginning it was mentioned somewhere what year it is, but I don't remember. So yeah, we follow a nurse, and in the present timeline with the young woman, she gets into a car accident. We know what happened, why she gets into the accident and what the circumstances were, but the crash was quite big and she was in a coma for few days, I think. And when she wakes up, she doesn't remember. She has amnesia, and slowly she starts to remember things about her life. And the accident she remembers almost the last thing she remembers is what actually happened and caused the accident to happen, the car crash. So we follow her in the hospital, how she deals with the emotion and the fact that she doesn't remember her life and things. And then we see how the young nurse in the past goes through her days as a nurse. There is this kind of paranormal or mystical aspect of this book where our main character in present timeline can see birds that are not there. I don't know why birds per se, but birds. And then in the hospital, she sees the nurse that we follow in the past. Why and for what reason and what does it do to the story? I couldn't really understand, but the story was quite interesting. It was interesting and a bit tough to read the nurse's point of view, because there are some things that happened to her that I didn't like. But also it was quite hard to read the present timeline, because we know what happened, what actually happened, why she crashed, and some things that some people that are involved in that and comes to the hospital to her. It's just sometimes annoying how they hide things and not tell her. So yeah. So when I finished this one, I had like a day and a half left for Magical Readathon, and I had to finish 3 more books to finish Magical Readathon, to do all the prompts that I needed. So I went for a look to find ebooks, preferably free ebooks, to finish the prompts, and I managed to do it. Like 2 ebooks. I had 1 physical book still, but it was really short, so I wasn't worried about that. So one of the books I found was Mr. October by Bethany Weaver. This was a really short, like a romance story set around Halloween. We have 2 characters. There are childhood best friends that are still friends in their 30s. I feel like 30s or late 20s. And they're being like crushing on each other, but doesn't tell each other that. And they have to do a school event. Like they are both teachers, and they have to take over the organizing of the Halloween event in the town that school does every year. So yeah, it was a romance between them. I didn't really enjoy how it ended. I felt like it was, I don't know, I just didn't feel for them. If they've been like crushing on each other for so long, it should have been noticeable to at least one of them. The other one is crushing on them. But they didn't know anything, and then suddenly everything is happening and they are in bed. But yeah, I just needed it for the prompt, so I read it. Then I read The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy, and this was a super cute book. It doesn't have a lot of text. It has a lot of illustrations and small pieces of text that are more like, I don't know, like these, once again, I don't know words that I want to use, but it's, you can like open the book in whatever point and read it like a saying or like a quote to inspire you or bring you up or something. So I would read something, but I have the book in Latvian, so I would have to translate it, and my brain is a mess as it is, as you can see, because I can't remember some words in English, so translating these would be tough. But I really enjoyed that the mole likes cakes. And there's this one quote that I sent to my coworker because I knew that she would like it, because she likes sweets and cakes. So yeah, it was really cute and definitely my favorite read of the month. And the last one I read was Castle Whiskerwood by Hampus Blom. I can't read my own handwriting, so yeah, it also was an ebook. It was like a choose your own adventure kind of story where you read and you have options to choose from, and based on that it says on what page you need to continue on. But I read the whole book because it was really short. But the interesting part is that the character that you choose at the beginning, and the character is a cat, some kind of a cat. There's a list of cats and characteristics for them at the beginning of the book, and when you read through, there are some things that you need to pay attention to see where story will bring you. So it was really interesting. It was a cute book, but I think it is a book that would go better if you had it physically, because then you could flip back to the beginning and see the number things for your cat and how it affects the story, and then you can go back and forth more easily. Because I had an ebook, it's not that easy to flip through the pages on ebook, and I couldn't read it on my Kindle because the format of the book the Kindle doesn't support it, so I read it on my phone. Still was a really interesting story about cats who need to go to this castle to figure out what is in there and what is happening. That was the last book I read in September, and I managed to finish my magical readathon just because I found short ebooks at the 2 days before the readathon ends, so I don't fail for the first time ever in magical readathon. But yeah, it was quite motivating also to look for the books and figure out what I can read for the prompts. But the September is over, new month is here, new books to read. As I said, my favorite one from the month was definitely The Boy, the Mole, the Fox and the Horse by Charlie Mackesy. Such a cute book, and I definitely recommend it to everyone. And now I feel like I need to gift this to someone because it is such an awesome book. But yeah, please let me know in the comments down below what is the last book you finished and how did you enjoy it. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I see you in the next one. Bye. Do I leave in the comment about pregnancy brain or do I not? I am pregnant, but I haven't said it anywhere online yet. Maybe some places, but not really on my social media. There's wasp, and I don't like it. I hate wasps. I feel like it's a wasp. It's just a big, ugly fly. I can't understand. Oh, I guess it's fly? No? I don't know. Can't really tell.